Hi everybody. I want to take a few minutes to talk about annotating our sources. Now I'm within MindEdge for this module. We have a little bit of information here on what annotating is. What we're doing is we're actually going to be evaluating the credibility and discussing our sources just a little bit. Okay, we will need to do this activity 3 times, download them into a Word document, and submit it within Brightspace. A few reminders about the resources that we are using. We want to make sure that we are finding our sources through Opposing Viewpoint and the Academic Search Complete databases. We are allowed to do one from the outside, but I really encourage us to use Opposing Viewpoints and Academic Search Complete because it kind of makes it easier in the long run. Because much of the resources here are credible and academic, and we would just Google something. Any one of us can publish whatever we want on the internet, so it takes a little bit more work to verify that it is a credible source. We need to have at least one of our sources to support our counter argument, but you can have 2. We can have 4 total. Make sure that one at least is directed towards our counter argument. We have a minimum of 2 or 3 to support our actual arguments. Be sure to test all of our sources using the CRAAP or CRAP method. This assignment calls for 3 sources, but be sure that our essay will be sure to find another source because we need to have 4 for that final paper. 1 for our counter argument and at least 3 for our other one as well. As you work on your annotations, remember to refer to the guidelines in our rubric, which I'll go over in just a minute, but I kind of want to show you how it's working in MindEdge. If we click on Source 1, it's going to give us a drop-down menu here. What we want to do is select a source from Opposing Viewpoints or Academic Search Complete database and evaluate it using the CRAP method. We can click right here on this to download an sort of worksheet to kind of help us with that CRAP method. And I do have a video posted in our announcements as well. The first thing that we want to do is identify our source by typing it in here and be sure to hit submit. And then we want to say, actually directly this, fill in the blanks. It seems the source is arguing what? What is the source arguing? The source is using this evidence to support that argument. What evidence? Is there a direct quotation, a specific statistic? How are they supporting that argument that you have just stated? We want to get pretty specific with this. Don't get vague and say the source is using this evidence to support the argument, statistics. Let's get specific. Use some direct quotations in there and get really specific with the information that you are going to be using from this source. Step 5. Personally, I believe that this source is doing a good job because it scored a high mark on the CRAP test in the audience. The author is using very good statistics and evidence to support their argument. Something like that. Tell us why you believe that this is a good source to be using. Step 6. Fill in the blanks in connection with this resource. My problem is this, my intended argument is this, and I believe that this source will be very helpful in supporting my argument because, why? And I think this source will support my other sources because. So what we're doing in step 6 is stating this is my problem. This specific source will be very valuable because it's giving me this information, and it will also help and work with my other sources as well. Okay, if you have any questions on this, let me know. And we will be doing this for 3 of our 4 sources. Remember that we will need at least 4 sources for that final paper. We only have to annotate 3. So again, we want to fill out these forms and make sure that you hit submit for each one for our 3 sources. And then you will want to download into a Word document and upload it in Brightspace, which I will show you where in just a moment. Let's go over that rubric really quickly. Remember, we have access to the rubric both in MindEdge and in Brightspace as well. There are a couple reminders on what the assignment is within the rubric, and then we have our critical elements. And this is what we will be graded on for this assignment. Do you clearly identify your sources? Yes? Awesome. You're proficient with that. Do you clearly identify the arguments and include at least one counter argument? What we're asking for here is, do you say which of your sources connect to which of your arguments and your counter argument? Can you explain the credibility of the source by providing relevant supporting evidence? And what that is all of those questions. Do you answer all of those questions to tell us how those sources are credible and how they connect not only to your argument, but to your other sources as well? And then we have our good old articulation of response. Are your citations correct? Are you using proper grammar? And are you presenting your information in an organized fashion? If we go back over to Brightspace, click on Course menu, click on Assignments, it will take us to that list of assignments that we have for this class. And then we are doing our annotations, so click on 3-4. It's going to take you to your submission page where you can review that rubric again, add your file by clicking Add File, and then if you have a comment for me or a question, and then you can hit Submit. Now remember that we will need to participate both in MindEdge and submit it in Brightspace as well. Annotations can be tricky, but I don't want you to overthink it, okay? What you're doing is you're telling me what sources you intend on using and why they are credible. And MindEdge makes it fairly straightforward because it gives us some prompts that we can answer with fill in the blank. But if you have any questions at all, let me know. You can post them in the general discussion forum, or we can talk one-on-one. And remember, the awesome people at the SNHU OWC are here to support you as well. Hang in there, you got this. We are on week 3. We're almost halfway through the term. Let me know if you have any questions.